Ahoy cruise enthusiasts! Today I thought we would talk about everyone's favorite cruise topic, travel insurance. Actually, at some point it really should be your favorite cruise topic because everybody does need travel insurance for not just their cruise vacation, but for any trip you take away from home, be it a fun summer theme park road trip or just maybe a weekend on the beach. You never know what's going to happen. So it's one of those things where you have it, you pay for it, but you really do hope you never use it. I have had an annual policy with Allianz for a very long time. I am not recommending anything. This is not sponsored or anything like that. So go out, do your own research, and pick whatever is best for you. But this is just what I have, and it works for me. I used to buy them one by one. And if you only travel maybe once or twice a year, that might be the best option. And that's what I used to do back when I only cruised 3 times a year. No, seriously. But you know, things changed. I started traveling more, and the annual policy just made more sense for me. So I figured we'd just talk about the one I chose and why each feature is important to me, and maybe help you decide on your travel insurance purposes. So here I am. This is the Allianz travel website, and I just picked December 1st for the start date. No particular reason. Believe it or not, I am 54. Yes, thank you very much. I am a resident of Florida. Wouldn't live anywhere else. And let's just go ahead and get that quote. Let's see. I have the middle plan, which is the All Trips Prime. It's going to come back with 3 different options. The most expensive one being the Executive, and then the All Trips Basic. But the Prime is what works best for me. And I just let it well, actually, no, they don't auto-renew, actually. You can go in and renew it manually, but they don't renew. So let's just take a quick look at plan coverage. And so actually, okay, $280. I think that's a little bit, well, actually, I don't know. It feels like a little bit more. I think the last one was $235, but whatever. So number 1, the coverage trip length, 45 days. This is fine for me. I don't think I've ever been away from home for that long ever in my life. I think the longest I've been away was, I think, this last road trip, which was 5 weeks, I think. But prior to that, it was only a month. So I don't know if I could stand to be away from Florida for more than 45 days. But actually, you know what? I don't know. You know, one of these Trans-Pacific cruises that might consume all 45 days. I should look into that. Anyway, so yeah, up to now, 45 days has been fine. The epidemic coverage endorsement, this is for the thing, which I don't even know. I'm not even going to look at that because I don't care. All right, so trip cancellation. This is where they will cover you for reimbursement for expenses for non-refundable expenses if you must cancel your trip due to a covered reason. Okay, they don't really list covered reasons here. That is, in fact, buried in the fine print. So if this is important to you, you're going to have to go click through a couple of screens to get that full contract, and they're in there. But I think a lot of the basics are covered. If you have an injury, a health issue, maybe even a death in the family or something like that, then that is a covered reason. But, you know, you can't just... This is not... Actually, I'll put it this way. This is not cancel for any reason. That is something that you have to buy a separate policy for, but that is not this. So that is trip cancellation, trip interruption. Okay, reimburses you for unused non-refundable portion of your trip and for the increased transportation costs it takes for you to return home due to a covered reason. So yeah, this is if something happens and you have to book emergency flights and get home. Again, thankfully, I've never had to use it, but yeah, I suppose it would be kind of expensive to buy last-minute flights. So that is what this is meant to take care of. Then emergency medical, and this is the one that everybody really thinks about when they have and need travel insurance. This is what covers those emergency medical expenses, that emergency or unanticipated visit to the hospital, medical center, or even getting treatment for something on land. And stick with me to the very end. I have a story to tell you why this is more important and why you really should have insurance on your cruise. So in this case, emergency medical benefits for losses due to covered medical and dental emergencies that occur on your trip. All right, now there is this little caption here, or caveat here. Depending on your plan, there's a $500 or $750 maximum for all covered dental expenses. All right, I will tell you, this makes sense to me. You might be thinking, oh wait, that's not a lot. You know, my last root canal was whatever. You probably won't need that. Every time that I have had an issue, a dental issue, myself or somebody I was traveling with or someone I heard of, it's always been the case of there is maybe an unknown cavity or something like that, and it finally gets infected and it gives you a toothache. That happens. It's happened to me a couple times, and when I'm traveling, I end up just going to just a local dentist, and they go in, they look, and they hand me a script for an antibiotic, maybe a painkiller, and send me on my way. Fortunately, the company always paid for that, so it wasn't really a big deal. But most of the time, that is the only dental treatment, at least in my experience, that you will need. Even if something falls off, like a cap or something, it's usually not a big deal. You can wait and get treatment at home from your home dentist. That actually has happened to me a couple times, and I just call them in and say, hey, I'll be back on this date, and it's taken care of. So that $500 or $700 limit, it doesn't really bother me. But the $20,000, yeah, this is what pays for that visit to the SHIP ER. This is what pays for the local hospital if you need trauma treatment, and we'll talk a little bit about that soon. So, actually, now, emergency transportation. Emergency medical transportation arranges and pays for the cost to medically transport you to an appropriate medical facility to receive care and to get you home after you have received care. Okay, so this is what pays for the helicopter. This is what pays for the boat. This is what pays for the life flight or whatever it takes to get you from the cruise ship to the medical center, or from the little medical center on the island to a bigger medical center, preferably home. Yes, and this is where people are hit with those huge bills. So fun fact, everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. This one has a $100,000 limit. However, they might tell you that emergency transport from, Grenada back to Miami is actually, it's going to cost you $110,000. But if you show them this and show them that you have $100,000 in coverage, magically, somehow, the cost becomes $99,000. Yes, so that's how this works. So I figure this is enough to get me home. I have said this before, and I'm absolutely serious. I do not want to be treated for anything serious anywhere else. I don't care what it is. Nothing. I'm not having some weird, socialist medicine doctor, lay hands on me. Okay, I'm going to use this, and I'm coming back to Miami. You're going to transport me directly to Baptist, and they will take care of me. All right, so yeah, this is probably the most important thing for me in this policy. Next, baggage loss and damage. So, coverage, loss, damage, and theft of baggage and personal effects. Okay, this is, the airline loses your suitcase. They might actually require you to file the claim with the airline first, and then this is secondary coverage. Again, that's always buried in the fine print. And maximum benefit for high-value items, laptops and stuff like that, $500. Yeah, they don't want people losing their bag and then claiming a new laptop. But, that's why always carry that stuff with you. So always have it on you, and you probably really don't have to worry about it. So never had to use it. I have never actually had a bag lost, believe it or not. Again, knock on something. I've had them delayed and then delivered to me, but never lost. So whew, I know I'm kind of like maybe running out of runway on that one, but no, I don't even think about it. Okay, a baggage delay. So now we're getting into things that, I don't know, people who apply, file a claim for these kinds of things, it's like, I don't know, it just seems kind of petty, but if you have it, you know what, you might as well use it. So $200 to reimburse the reasonable additional purchase of essential items during your trip if your bag is delayed or misdirected by a common carrier. Okay, very important. The common carrier is the airline, the bus operator, the cruise line, or something like that. Okay, it does not mean, giving it to Papito and asking him, hopefully, to deliver it somewhere. Okay, it's got to be somebody with a name, a license, and all that kind of stuff. And this is for basically if you have to go out and buy, a new toothbrush or something, or maybe even get a prescription refilled. That's what this is for. Minimum delay, 12 hours. This is why it's very important to arrive at your cruise destination the day ahead of time, preferably at least 18 hours ahead of time, because if your bag is delayed by 12 hours or more than 12 hours, you will need time to go and, get this extra stuff. But, if you have it, you might as well use it. If anybody has used any of these things, let everyone know in the comments below. I'd really like to know how that went. Travel delay. again, one of these things that I have never really even considered using, reimburses you for additional expenses due to a cover delay of 6 or more hours. Oh boy. Some plans may also cover last prepaid trip expenses due to cover delay, depending on the product and state. Again, buried in the fine print. Please see your insurance agreement to verify whether your insurance plan includes this coverage. Okay, maximum reimbursement for a 24-hour period, $200. Wow. So I suppose this is to cover, like, you know, hotel expenses if you're delayed and couldn't make a flight or something like that. And minimum delay, oh, wait, hold on. Maximum reimbursement is per 24 hour. There you go. $200. Minimum delay is 6 hours. Okay, that's actually, yeah, reasonable. Whatever. Let's see. Rental car insurance. Yes. This one is interesting because it actually does say primary collision and loss damage coverage protects your rental car in case it's stolen or damaged. Most other, like, insurance riders, like when you buy it through the rental car agency, it says it's secondary insurance. They expect you to have primary insurance through your own like auto insurance company. But this says primary collision, so that's actually kind of good. You know, it's weird because I have the coverage from, like, my own carrier, the credit cards, and everything like that. Anyway, this is. I probably used this. Well, okay, actually, I haven't rented a car since last year, believe it or not. Well, why would I lie about that? But yeah, it does come with rental car insurance. And to be honest, I didn't even know about this until I checked last year in Vancouver. Or was it Spokane? When I did have to rent a car. And I was like, you know what? Before I call the credit card company, I did check this. They have an app that you can check all this. So, and surprise, I did have rental car coverage. Let's see, and I think that's about it for this particular policy, the Prime, because everything else is X'd out. No business equipment rental, no change fee coverage, travel accident coverage. This is kind of the life insurance, you know, the term life insurance kind of thing. So this provides a cash payment for covered losses due to death. Haven't used that one, miraculously. Just a reminder, everyone, I am not AI. Loss of limbs or sight. Those are oddly specific and kind of terrifying as a result of a covered travel accident. So I guess this is your relative's payday if something happens to you. Oh boy. So of all of these, when I get travel insurance, the most important things to me were the emergency medical and emergency transportation. The rest of them, like the baggage loss and travel delay, it's nice to have, but you know, they're kind of like, I don't know, I've never even come close to needing them. So, and if I was in this situation, I honestly might even forget to file the claim. So that's just me. But yeah, the emergency medical and emergency transportation, not having these is why we see the stories of people getting hit with these huge bills. So let me tell you a story. I think I've told this story before, but it's probably good to tell it again now. But a few years ago, way prior to the whole thing, God, this must have been 2013, 14, 15, I was participating in a mission with the Coast Guard, and we were doing some behind-the-scenes stuff with the cruise lines. And the cruise lines sent all the different cruise lines. We're talking Royal, Norwegian, Carnival. They all sent people to participate in this. And I ended up in a conversation with some of the staff from Norwegian who handled insurance claims and the types of emergencies. And, you know, they were just talking about, you know, various random things here and there. Oh, this happened. And I remember one of the ladies was telling just an amalgamation of stories of things that they've had to deal with. And she kind of looked at the crowd and she says, like, oh, by the way, just everybody have your insurance, have the travel insurance, because if we know you have that, there are so many other things that we can do. They will start making plans for you based on that. So if they know you have, you know, emergency medical and emergency transportation, if they just know you have it, they will start lining up the better hospitals, the better doctors, the emergency transportation, because they know that they're going to get paid, right? So, you know, it's good if you have the app, but maybe print out something so you can, like, show them this and keep it in your cabin so that they know you have this insurance, because apparently, if they know you have it, they will go ahead and start making all of those arrangements for you. And you don't have to, you have to worry about less, put it that way. And same thing in the medical center. Like, if you go to the medical center and you say, oh, I have coverage, you know, they'll probably be a little bit more prompt in treating you. Now, they I don't think they accept this as like payment. You still have to pay and then you get reimbursed. But I think they will be more willing to do things for you if they know that it's eventually going to be covered. In fact, I remember she said something like, she said, oh, that's right, in the Bahamas. She says, if you are injured in the Bahamas, they will call and make a reservation for you at the Ryder Hospital, which is the Western hospital. If you don't have insurance, they will send you to the Princess Juliana Hospital, which is the locals hospital. So no matter where you are in the world, you want to go to the hospital that the foreigners go to. And that goes for everywhere. Okay, even in Europe. Not so much here because people come here for treatment anywhere. So, but yeah, if you're out of the United States, you definitely want to go to the hospital where the foreigners go to. And she's like, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll set that up for you if they know you have insurance. So absolutely have your insurance. Make sure if anything happens that the cruise line knows you have insurance, because they will be able to do a lot more for you. So there you go. Always have travel insurance. You want to avoid all the surprise bills. And yes, unfortunately, it doesn't work like Medicare here. You will have to pay for it up front and then get reimbursed. But to be honest, we never hear stories of people getting stiffed by their insurance provider. So just based on that, I'm going to say it's probably a pretty smooth process to get those claims paid. So yeah, actually, you know what? I do remember another story. Years ago too, this lady who was in the friend circle, she went skiing somewhere, and she was skiing in Europe, and she had an accident and she broke her leg. And yeah, and she was like me. She's like, you're not touching me. You're not cutting me open. You're not doing anything. She's basically like, no. Wrap it up, put me on an airplane, and send me back home, right? And she was telling the story about how she just grabbed every credit card she had, and she's like, just max it out, whatever. And that's what they did. They wrapped her up. They sent her with a nurse, on a flight back to Miami. When she got back to Miami, she went in, she had the surgery done, I think at Baptist, maybe at Jackson, which is actually a pretty good facility. And she fully healed, but the end of the story was she filed a claim with her travel insurance and they paid it. That's it. Yeah, now she did have to put all the money up front, but she filed the claim and they paid it. So it works. So this system does work very well. So always have travel insurance. And if you have it, you know what? For the delay and stuff like that, you might as well use it. But there you go. So go and investigate your travel insurance. Figure out which is best for you, the per trip plan or the annual plan, and travel safe. And if you do experience a covered medical event and we run into each other in the medical center, I hope that does not happen. I'll see you. You know what? No, that won't happen. So if you don't use your travel insurance, like me, I'll see you on board.